What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kanjizzle back here with another video. I know I haven't been here in like a month. I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to wish you guys a happy New Year, Merry Christmas if you celebrate that. Happy Thanksgiving, just happy holidays. No matter if you celebrate any of the holidays or not. I'm just hoping that you had a good time over this time period, just like I did. Had a great Christmas, great Thanksgiving. Really for New Year's, I kind of forgot it happened because this year didn't really fly by. But I'm kind of still, it kind of still hasn't hit me that it's 2022 yet. That hasn't hit me yet. And I want to say before I start, the review, and you guys can skip the people who don't want to hear this. You guys can skip it. I have a chapter left on it. This year has been the most growth I've ever made on this channel. It's been the best year for me as a content creator, I feel. Mainly because I feel like I posted a good bit and I had fun. I had a lot of fun. I renewed this channel's vision, and honestly, I'm not looking back. Because it kind of feels like something I should have been did. This year is gonna be an even better year. I believe this year is gonna be the most consistent I'll be. My New Year's resolution was to be more consistent in every facet of my life. So hopefully you guys, continue to enjoy these videos. Thank you guys for the people who did. Thank you for all your support. I cannot describe how much I loved it. I cannot describe, the amount of joy you bring me, for, clicking my videos, commenting, do whatever you do, So thank you guys very much. Couldn't have did that year without yees. So, yeah, I was gonna say yee too. So I'm crazy like that. But this video right here, I've been needing to do because I watched Spider-Man when it first came out. I was gonna do a review earlier, and it just never. I wanted to do these little marathons for Christmas week, and I just didn't do it. I had a whole lot of videos planned. I just didn't do them. So I thought to myself, let's go ahead and get a video out before it's too late into the year. So obviously today we're reviewing Spider-Man: No Way Home. The spoilers on the movie was just insane. I already knew it was gonna be crazy, but delete all your social media before you watch these type of movies, for real, because I got hit right in the jaw with spoilers, man. So first off, let me go ahead and say that this whole video is gonna be spoilers. That's why I say it's everywhere. Delete anything. This whole video is gonna be spoilers. But luckily, I am a good enough person to put spoilers inside the review title, and I will leave chapters of when I'm doing my non-spoiler part and my spoiler part. I'm mainly gonna be doing spoilers because I'm not really into doing non-spoiler reviews, because I feel like I can get my point across without telling you guys stuff that I may need to mention from the movie. First, for my non-spoiler part, I did get spoilers for this movie as I was watching the movie. Just all went away. I still had a great experience while knowing the spoilers of this movie. I still had a great experience while knowing the spoilers of this movie, and that is a pretty good feeling to me, because the experience that you get while watching this movie is like no other, really. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, a fan of comic books, a fan of Marvel, you're gonna feel great while watching this movie. So that's a big pro. This movie also has awesome moments, just moments. Even if you do have some small problems with the moments, you be like, oh, I like that part. There's a whole lot of awesome cameos, a whole lot of awesome moments that gonna make you feel great for living with these characters and the stories and everything with Spider-Man and stuff like that. It's gonna make you feel great, There's also some good action inside this movie. Though I do feel there might not have been as much action. I didn't have a problem. There is way more action-packed movies than this movie that were made by the MCU. But this movie is still a good action movie. It still had good action. I enjoyed the action parts. I felt that the heroes did a really good job Obviously, Tom Holland and Spider-Man, he was good. Zendaya, Mary Jane, all of the actors did a good job. All the villains did a good job. The end credits for this movie is also a very, 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 very good part about the experience. The fact that the end credits might be some of the best parts of my experience, and that's nothing. That's nothing like going against the movie. I'm just saying like the end credits was that good. If you wanna know what's up with the MCU after this movie, please stay for the end credits. The spoiler side of the review. Spoiler alert, this movie does have all the Spider-Man inside of it. I mean, we all knew it. You guys were gonna know it at some point anyway. We all knew it. We all knew they had all the Spider-Man inside of it. And you know what? When they showed up, it just felt great. Everybody started clapping. Everybody there was a whole lot of claps inside the theater. You don't get a whole lot of claps inside the theater. Now, that was also one of the parts that kind of hurt me with this movie, because even some of the parts that didn't really deserve claps, people still clapped. I understand, but it kind of, for some reason, it kind of hurt me. All right, no, that's like a small nitpick, but that wasn't the movie's fault. All right, now this movie starts with Spider-Man dealing with his identity being exposed by Mysterio, and it kind of puts you in a dramatic space. It makes you feel more connected to the movie as you see Spider-Man and his friends and his family going through this stuff, because he was framed for being a killer, and even though they kind of get past that, everybody still knows who he is, so it kind of ruins his life. And also there's a great cameo with Daredevil, Matt Murdock, and a brick flies. I don't know why this happened, but a brick flew through the window. He called it. I don't know why a brick flew through the window. I guess they're because everybody knows where Spider-Man lives. But he saw some of his powers right there. So that was very cool. Now, when you really get down to it, I think this is one of the parts that kind of bothered me with this movie. When you really get down to it, this movie is just about Peter and his friends trying to get into college, right? And you know what? I don't mind that. But the fact that a whole lot of the events of this movie could have been avoided by one simple decision. It's okay, but it also kind of felt stupid. Here's why. So they're trying to get into this college. Him, MJ, Ned, right? And they say, okay, you can't get into this college. They say, Peter, you can't get into this college. Ned, you can get into this college. MJ, you can get into this college because your association with Spider-Man, right? And that makes sense. I like that part. That makes sense. It's the realistic consequences of being Spider-Man for Peter, right? Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange, he goes to him, right? Because this right here, it kind of just hit him, He was kind of like, oh, dang, my friends can't get into their dream college because of me. So he tells Doctor Strange, hey, I need some help. I need this spell to be done. This is part y'all seen inside the trailer. Well, Peter messes up because he keeps trying to make changes to the spell and ends up messing up the spell. The spell is meant to have everybody forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, but instead it brought only people who knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man, or who knew Peter Parker. It was something like that, and that's why Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Electro, Sandman, the Lizard. That's why they all show up, right? Now, Doctor Strange mentions that he could have just pleaded his case, and that's when I was like, that's kind of stupid. That's kind of stupid. But you know what? I get it. That's how the movie's supposed to start. There's gonna be some parts like that. I don't know if I should really be judging the movie off of that, but that's kind of stupid to me. All right, that's kind of stupid. So he goes, tries to plead his case, and Doc Ock shows up, right? Green Goblin shows up, and it's just crazy, it's crazy. But he doesn't seem to care because he got his goal, He just wanted to get his friends to college, and that's what he did. And then Doctor Strange tells him that you can't just, this is your mess, you did this. So there's like a little prison, a little box. And that's that box, you guys. You see, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange holding inside the trailer. That they keep the villains in, and that they're supposed to store it in. And they start asking Doc Ock questions and stuff. There's a few jokes thrown inside there, and they start to find out that more people are leaking through this spell. Peter Parker needs to stop these villains, right? So he agrees. He catches Electro. He catches the Lizard. He catches Sandman. So when they're all locked up, when Peter gets them all locked up, when he gets all the villains locked up, Green Goblin died. Doc Ock died, right? When all this is mentioned, Doc Ock's like, "Oh, Green Goblin, you're supposed to be dead." And then Sandman's like, "Oh, Doc Ock, you're both supposed to be dead. You know, you guys are both maniacs. You guys are supposed to be gone." And then that's when Doctor Strange explains to them all these people's fates is to die. And even though I'm not sure if all of them died, I'm pretty sure Sandman and Electro did not die. I'm not sure about the Lizard. Peter Parker, he disagrees. He's like, "I don't want to kill these people." He has a fight with Doctor Strange, and that's that kind of fight that you guys were seeing inside of the trailer. And this is one of the problems I have with the movie. How in the world did Doctor Strange lose to Spider-Man? At this point, Doctor Strange might be just sorry. I understand it, math versus magic. Still, it doesn't make sense. How did he lose? Was Doctor Strange trying to lose? Like, his aim was terrible. It seemed like the guy was trying to lose. Alright, he wants to cure him, right? So he takes them back to Happy's apartment, and he decides that he wants to cure him. He gets help from Green Goblin. He gets help from Doc Ock, and they're all working on cures for these people. They give Electro a art reactor or something like that. To help, and he's just staring down this art reactor this whole time, right? Because he likes the energy that it gave him, right? He's feeding for the energy. Green Goblin, as you guys know, he has two sides to him. One is crazy, one is kind of this troubled man. And they even work on like this chip that can help Doc Ock fully control his powers. And after that, he's cured. He's no longer like a threat to them no more. Before, and I forgot to mention this, before Peter goes to cure these villains at Happy's apartment, he gives MJ and Ned, like the little like ring or whatever he has to like open portals, right? And whenever they need him, just go ahead and like say his name. I need Spider-Man, right? Cut back to Spider-Man trying to cure all these villains. What's his name? Green Goblin, right? He switches, turns into a maniac. Electro takes that art reactor, and there's a big fight. This fight is probably the best inside the movie. Not gonna lie, it's probably the best inside the movie, and that's not because of the fights inside this movie is exactly weak. It's just that this fight was very good. Green Goblin is like he like killing. He rocking Peter Parker. He rocking Tom Holland, right? Killing him, beating him down. He throwing him through walls. He throwing him through the floor. He was tackling them, beating them down. And that's why I was kind of like, oh, this version of Spider-Man is probably the weakest. Even though Green Goblin is strong, I feel like Toby or Andrew probably could have dealt with that a little better. No matter, he's getting his junk whooped. Doc Ock is now a good guy because he is able to control his his octopus arms, I guess. Electro is fighting too. He's fighting against the good guys because he wants that energy. The Lizard is he was stuck inside. He was inside the car the whole time. He did break out though and left. Went into the water, I guess, for some reason. Sandman, he's also fighting too, just because he's there. And they kind of just destroy his building. They're beating it up. Aunt May is there too, right? And here goes one of the biggest problems with the movie, right? One of the biggest parts that I saw, and I feel that this part is most definitely something they could have taken away. They could have did this way better. All right, Aunt May is there. Peter is fighting what's his name, Green Goblin, and he's getting whooped, like as I said. And then his little glider goes right into the back of Aunt May. She gets stabbed, but immediately she gets right back up and starts talking for kind of what felt like a stretched out conversation. Like, they didn't need to do all of what they said inside that dialogue. And I feel like they kind of forced out that whole with great power, great responsibility part with Aunt May. And then she falls down. She's dying. She's obviously dying. Maybe somebody who got stabbed in the back might be able to get up and have a full conversation with their nephew before they're dying. But that whole thing just felt stressed out. Aunt May's death was done poorly to me. It was not done good. It was done poorly. Either way, what happened to Peter, he feels so awful, right? All he wants to do is kill Green Goblin after what he did to his Aunt May. And MJ want to see Peter. They're kind of worried. They don't know what Peter is, right? So they call for Peter. And you know who pops out? Andrew, all right? He pops out through the portal. And that's when everybody started clapping. I was like, crazy. I was like, oh, okay. And then and they asked for Peter again. My boy Toby comes through, right? And, everybody started clapping even more. I'm like, dang, it's crazy, MJ and Ned are kind of like confused. They're like, who are these people? Well, Andrew kind of figures out, I must be solving another universe. They're looking for Peter, Tom Holland's Peter. Toby asks, does he have a place that he likes to go to? And they say, yeah. And they go find Tom, right? He's crying, he beat up. And Toby and Andrew tell him, hey, every Spider-Man has to deal with loss, right? We had our Uncle Ben's gone. Our Uncle Ben's went away. And I'm sorry about your Aunt May, but you gotta fight. You gotta fight through it, right? So they help him try to make these cures for the villains, right? They go to the lab, and this is where a whole lot of good dialogue happens. We get a whole lot of fun jokes, but just good conversation between the Spider-Men, and they pretty much make a plan to stop these villains. They go to a building. They're about to fight these villains. And at first, while they're fighting these villains, they're kind of confused because they never worked as a team. But Tom Holland Spider-Man has. So he tells them, hey, I work with the Avengers. They don't know what that is. But, I can help. I can help y'all, right? I can lead y'all into this dub. So they work as a team. And it's an awesome moment, they all fighting, they swinging around, they going crazy, And also Doc Ock was helping them fight too. Tom Holland is fighting not Doc Ock, Green Goblin. And he kind of just goes to the edge. He starts beating up Green Goblin, and as he's getting beat up, it's kind of like this Joker moment where he's just laughing as he's getting punched in the face. It was kind of funny. He gets far, and he pushes up the glider. He takes the glider, and he's about to stab him with the glider. He's about to kill him. He's about to end his life. And Toby comes in. He's like, stop. He held the glider back from him. No effort at all. He just pushes it back. And Doctor Strange is there. He's like, oh, guys, I'm trying to hold him back. And I'm trying to hold back. But this spell's getting under control, right? And Doctor Strange is... I forgot to mention that. Doctor Strange came back. Ned... They got the portal. They brought Doctor Strange back. So, and then you see a picture of all of the people who knew Spider-Man was Peter Parker, where are peeking through. You can see Rhino. I believe Scorpion might have been there too. I gotta watch an Easter egg video on it. I suggest you guys watch one too. And Spider-Man's like, hey, how can we shut down this portal? And he's like, I don't know. Doctor Strange's like, I don't know. And Spider-Man's like, hey. Well, Tom Holland Spider-Man. He's like, hey, can I just do the spell how it's supposed to be? And he's like, oh, I guess that might work. So the spell is for everybody to forget Peter Parker, right? That's what the spell turns into. Everybody to forget Peter Parker. So he's like, okay, I'll do it. Spider-Man's like, okay, I'll do it. Near the end of the movie, we see that he wants to introduce himself to MJ again. He goes to the place that she works at. He sees that she has a scar that she had from the big final battle. And he doesn't say anything about it. Because he sees Ned and her are talking about the college that they're about to get into. And they're friends. And he's cool with that. So we see him inside his own apartment. He makes his own Spider-Man suit. And he has this cool looking Spider-Man suit. But the one thing that was kind of weird is that the CGI looked horrible at the end. I like the suit. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not a movie producer. I don't know how it is working on these movies, so who am I to say that it looked bad? But the CGI did not look bad. The CGI did not look good at the end. I don't know why. It just did not look good in any way. But that ends the movie. As we have the end credits too, we see the end credit. Venom was there, and he lived. And the big part is that he leaves a little bit of that symbiote left, right, inside the universe. But he disappears again. And then you have the other one, Doctor Strange. You gotta watch that trailer yourself. They showed the Doctor Strange trailer. It was great. It was amazing. I will probably have a video dedicated to that alone. So let's get into some of the nitpicks. Right, there's a few plot holes. I know that these might be explained somewhere. I'm not gonna look at it right now because I want to get my point across. Right. But the multiverse plot holes, and I can go deep into this. Right. Everybody who knows Peter Parker is coming. Everybody who knows Peter Parker and Spider-Man is coming. Right. Now the villains they mentioned. Right. They mentioned that they were fighting Spider-Man. And then magically they showed up there. So they got taken out of that one place in time. Do Andrew and Toby, did they experience that? Did they not get to fight them, or is that another universe? You know what I mean? And this is gonna sound confusing. A whole lot of this is gonna sound confusing. Also, Mary Jane, Gwen, all these people know. Shouldn't they be coming through too? There's more than just villains that know. There's allies. Harry should be coming in. All these people should be coming in. But one of the other big problems I have with this movie is the Peter Parker identity spell. MJ still has a scar from the final battle. He could have asked, how did you get that scar? I feel that parts of this movie kind of felt thrown together. Not that it wasn't thrown together well, but parts of it just felt thrown together. Like these plot holes. They kind of, it's something they might not have thought about it too much. I know they're probably going to explain it a little more, but some of this just does not make any sense. And in some moments, it kind of felt like the creators were all like, oh, well, we have Toby and Andrew back inside the movie. Who cares? And that's probably my biggest problem with the movie. I understand the selling point of this movie is Toby and Andrew. I get it. They are the selling point of this movie, but I kind of don't like how they fall back on them too, on them so much, because to be real, I didn't like the first half of this movie. The first half of this movie it was not the best. I did not enjoy the first half of this movie nearly as much as I enjoyed the second half of this movie. And that's because of Toby and Andrew. Now, maybe that's just me, but I feel like this movie kind of relies on Toby and Andrew. They're kind of carrying a little too much, right? The aim, though. Now, I know this is kind of, you guys don't have to take this seriously, but the aim of these people were terrible. Electro, his aim was horrible. I mean, first of all, there was a scene where he was shooting at the Spider-Man, right? They both swing out the way. Two of the Spider-Man swing out the way. He's still shooting at the same spot. Did you not see him leave? Doctor Strange had no aim. Really, nobody had no aim inside this movie except for maybe Toby. The Vulture was not inside this movie. I thought some of my predictions were wrong. I thought the Vulture was going to be inside this movie. He was not, because as you guys know, he was inside of the Morbius trailer. So, I don't know how they're going to explain that, but I'm sure they're going to find a good way. There is still some good moments. I forgot to mention, before when Jamie Foxx was defeated, he was talking about, man, with all this multiverse stuff, I was sure there was going to be a black Spider-Man inside somewhere out there, right? And this kind of just felt thrown aside there. That part kind of just felt thrown aside there. I enjoyed it a whole lot. A whole lot of these things felt thrown together. Even some of the conversations. There's this channel called The Game Apologist, where I haven't watched the review yet. I'm sure it's good. Go check it out. But the title is, the Spider-Man movie is obviously fan service, but I enjoy it a whole lot. And that's kind of how I feel about it, about this movie. And when I watched this movie, I was thinking to myself, as I got done watching this movie, as I was inside the theater thinking about what I just now watched, I was thinking to myself, that was probably the perfect Marvel movie. And then when I hopped out of the theater and I had a conversation with the people that I watched the movie with, I watched this movie with Quanson. Go check him out. When we actually sat down and broke down the movie, it kind of brought down this movie for me, because though this movie was great, parts of it could have been better. All right, and that's with every movie. But there is some problems or some missing parts that I feel they could have expanded on. But I still do feel like this movie is part of my top 5 MCU movies, probably top 3. Is this movie the best MCU movie? No. Best MCU movie is Infinity War, I believe, for me. I believe inside one of my old videos I said Black Panther. I don't know why I said that. Is it the best Spider-Man movie? No. No. I'm not going to say that. Will I say it's top 3? Obviously. It's obviously top 3. Obviously. It might be the second best. But I feel that Spider-Verse is my favorite Spider-Man movie. So, watch this movie. But I had some problems with it. Right, there was a few nitpicks with it. But that's just me. Tell me how you felt about it if you watched this movie. And tell me how you felt about this movie inside of the comments if you already watched it. Please go watch this movie. Like this movie. Like this video if you enjoyed it. And subscribe if you want to show your support. I'm kind of messed up on my words. I haven't did a YouTube video in so long. Thank you guys. I love y'all. Bing bing 2022 Kanaji boo. Yeah. Peace.